TechTime Radio. Visit them online at techtimeradio.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so, you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
As far as YouTube is concerned, we would like you to like it and subscribe to our podcast.
Yes, you know how you can find our YouTube page?
How?
You go to YouTube and just type in TechTime Radio.
That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
Like, and subscribe.
You need to visit us online also at Twitch. You know what our Twitch page is?
I imagine it's at TechTime Radio.
That's correct. If you just go to any twitch.tv and you look for TechTime Radio, we come on up as TechTime Radio. So visit us on Twitch, subscribe there because you can see the live feeds themselves. And guess what?
What?
We also have a page on X. Okay,
so what is that? At TechTime Radio?
That's at TechTime Radio or hashtag
TechTime Radio. The point is,
yeah,
if you like our show, like and subscribe to our social media. Okay, so I think that's pretty much covers it. Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Nathan doesn't get liked a lot at home, so he's begging for everybody.
Please like us. Please like us. That's right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Remember, TechTimeRadio.com.
TechTimeRadio.com.
All right.
Like us and subscribe.
Or subscribe and like us.
Broadcasting across the nation, from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology, while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts, as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person, talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. Each week our show covers the weekly top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it in the course of 60 minutes. And of course, with a little whiskey on the side. We are live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And like us and share that information with your friends. We encourage you to visit us also online at techtimeradio.com. Become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/TechTime Radio. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host, a technologist with over 30 years. It's almost 40 years. 30 years of technology expertise working for the Fortune 500 companies across the country. Today in the studio, we have co-host Mike Corday. And we have our whiskey expert, the connoisseur of all connoisseurs, the black market whiskey dealer, of course, Marc Gregoire. Mike's an award-winning author, originally from Arizona. Mike is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike is here to help me from geeking out and providing insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. There's a great story he's going to be talking about today that he's passionate about on our second story, so you're going to want to listen in on that. Of course, we have Marc Gregoire, a whiskey connoisseur and a senior technical executive with a 30-year record of establishing technology solutions and a skilled whiskey drinker and our go-to pick-of-the-day expert. We are friends from different backgrounds. We're bringing the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We have Odie behind the board today, so let's get ready to start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, we expose the cyber threats from Iran that could disrupt U.S. water and factory systems and how you can protect yourself. We also debut the pros and cons of school cell phone bans, whether they help or hurt the student learning and safety. We also investigate the new alliance between Meta and IBM. Meta and IBM are working together. Meta's now working with everybody. Yay. He needs to work with people. Zuckerberg's struggling to do his stuff, so he's working with people out there.
That's what you get.
And what it means for the future of artificial intelligence. We uncover the truth behind Joan Donovan's exit from Harvard and how it relates to Meta's role and other misinformation. And we have a holiday special with news, trends, gifts, and chat with Santa GPT, the jolly chatbot. We're going to be talking about that. Have you heard about Santa GPT?
No.
Okay, we're going to talk about it. It's awesome. In addition, we have our features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, the technology fail of the week, and a possible Nathan Nugget, if time allows, regarding AI and geese. So sit back.
I hope we get to that today.
I do too. So
I really want to know about the geese.
The geese and how they interact and how the AI was created for the tracking of all geese in the world, not just the United States, but the world geese tracking system. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to TechTime Radio. As always, we have our pick of the day whiskey tasting during the commercials. To see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now, it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, story number 1. Iran-linked cyber attacks threaten equipment used in the U.S. water systems and factories. Let's go to our own Tech Time's Tom Geiken for more on the story.
An Iran-linked hacking group is actively targeting and compromising multiple U.S. facilities for using an Israeli-made computer system. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, said on Friday that the hackers, known as Cyber Avengers, have been infiltrating video screens with the message, "You have been hacked, down with Israel." Every equipment made in Israel is Cyber Avengers' legal target. The cyber attacks have spanned multiple states. While the equipment in question, Unitronics Vision Series programmable logic controllers, is predominantly used in water and wastewater systems, companies in energy, food and beverage manufacturing, and healthcare are also under threat. Back to the studio.
All right, so we have compromised devices which are publicly exposed to the internet with default passwords. So these devices that were put in these water treatment facilities and these other clinics and medical facilities essentially had a default password that you could hack into the back of them. And when they installed them, no one went into the default password and decided to reset the default password on these units. It reminds me back in the days of young Nathan when he went to college and somebody didn't put a BIOS password on the computers at the community college, and someone hacked into there and did some stuff with that too. So here's the first thing you need to do. If you buy a device from anywhere, Israeli, Argentinian, wherever the heck you're, Japan, wherever the heck you're buying this device from, and it comes, make sure you go into the settings and change the default password of those devices so that you can't have anybody remotely get to them. That would be the first thing. The agency did not specify how many organizations have been hacked, but on Friday, CNN reported that less than 10 water facilities around the U.S. have been infected, so it's not as many as it could have been. Cyber Avengers, where they have essentially the E is now a 3, so it's Cyber AV3 Avengers, but they call themselves Cyber Avengers, has been behind the breach at a water authority outside of Pittsburgh. On November 25th, the water authority was forced to temporarily disable the compromised machine, but reinstated it, and the drinking water is safe. It also shows the scale and scope of the Israeli-Hamas cyber warfare, along with the fighting on the ground. Both sides of the conflict have dozens of hacking groups that have been responsible for disrupting company operations, linking sensitive information online, and collecting user data to plan future attacks. Essentially, we're now tracking over 150 such groups, the United States is, and since this has happened, they're making sure that no other standard default passwords for any of their water facilities remain unpatched or uncorrected. In the response to the cyber concerns, Israeli authorities recently gave them now emergency wartime powers, which allows the government to step in if a company that specifically deals with cloud storage and digital services get hacked. So let's talk about this. So if I have a server that's sitting in Israel right now and it gets hacked, is it okay for the government with wartime powers to come on in and just decide to take over that personal server?
Why? I don't know. Why are you asking me?
I'm just asking it, kind of. I mean, because it's an interesting deal. This is the first time that I've ever seen.
This seems like par for the course,
where a country would take over. Okay.
I mean, they're trying to deal with all these attacks, and if the attackers are attacking privately owned things,
yeah. They should be. You think they should be able to go on in there and have it taken care of? That's fine. I was just curious on that.
I don't know.
It's unique. I haven't seen it before. So this is the first time where a country has essentially advertise that in the wartime situations, any data center that could get corrupted by anybody, they're going to just go on in and take over control of that.
Maybe that's the key, is that it's self-advertised. I'm guessing that everybody else that is having these same issues are dealing with the same governmental overpower.
That may be, Russia and China and these places that don't release information maybe do exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just
they just don't say anything.
Makes
or,
sense.
This is, what are you going to do? This is something that's going to affect everybody from here on out. I tried to get onto I think it was Cambridge Library website, and there was a notice that it was being hacked and the information was unavailable.
Okay, yeah, it happens a lot now.
So, yeah.
All right, let's go on. I know story number 2 is a story that you're passionate about. What do we got for story number 2?
Well, I don't know if I'm super passionate about it.
Well, you were last night at the production meeting.
Yeah. I grew up in a different era, so the problem is that schools are cracking down on cell phones, sparking debate on safety and technology use.
Okay.
Right? So some of these schools are finding creative ways to stop students from using their cell phones during the day, fueling debates about the effectiveness and wisdom of such bans. Some schools have partnered with companies to implement things like pouches that the students are required to put their phones into at the beginning of the day and don't unlock until the final bell rings, while others are threatening punishments, including suspension, if a student is caught with their phone even at lunchtime. Educators appear ecstatic about getting students off their phones during class, but there are lingering concerns from both parents and children about being phoneless in emergency situations and whether this is the best way to address the problem. Renisha Parks, Chief Wellness Officer at Richmond Public Schools in Virginia, is implementing in 6 schools at the beginning of 2024 to stop cell phone usage, partnering with Yondr, YOUNDR, which creates magnetic pouches for cell phones. The measure will impact around 4,200 students and cost approximately $75,000. While she said that the educators in the district were thrilled with the idea, the support for it is split among parents and students, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Right. On the other
I was
side,
kind of against this, right? So I'm kind of like, I don't know why you just wouldn't allow the kids to have the cell phones in there, but keep on going on in the story.
Well, my point that I was trying to make last night is that, we take these little specific pieces and we use them as our signpost for why we're going about it. So, these kids and their parents are using this as a emergency use thing and argument for having them. Whereas the problem with these in the school system is that we all know these addictive qualities of our screens.
Okay.
And so you have a lot of kids who are engaging in stuff other than schoolwork.
Okay. Yeah.
So, there's, and again, we see this in different areas all the time.
Okay.
So according to one of the things that this person Parks says is that they've been sharing with parents throughout this process that they have additional town hall, and they're going to have additional town halls to talk about the process to alleviate their concerns. Because when we were growing up, we didn't have this.
We didn't have cell phones.
We didn't have
right?
cell phones.
I mean, the best I could sneak in was a calculator that had a little macro in there that I'd put my Spanish words in and try to get away with that for Spanish class. Right?
Sure, but when there was an emergency, who did you call? You called the school. You called the teacher.
My parents would call the school, or we would just, back in the olden days, I mean, if there was a major emergency, we would just kind of go out to our cars and just jet out, right?
I guess that's probably your strategy, was to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
But the idea here is that there are already systems in place to deal with emergencies, so this becomes more of a personal issue. It doesn't mean that, as a parent, I want to be able to get a hold of my children if I need to.
Okay.
Right. But we also complain all the time about our children not being educated or getting the education they need, and part of it is because of this.
Okay.
That's actually an ongoing phenomenon right now with a bunch of teachers, especially new teachers. They're having issues with kids that do not want to give up their phone. Instead, if they are asked to give up their phone, they'll then tattle to their parents, and then parents will then fight with teachers about it. It's becoming a very
and we're seeing this a lot on social media, of course, because it's sparking some even violent reactions from students and other people.
All right, continue on. Yep.
A clinical psychologist here, Ronnie Cohen-Sandler, who wrote the book Anything But My Phone, Mom, says that they're sort of dumping all this pressure on their moms and not sitting with the feelings themselves.
Okay.
And this is about the discomfort.
So is that kind of the helicopter parent, if the person texts them and then mom or dad gives them advice directly in school? Is that kind of what they have going on there?
There's a little enmeshment going on because they're feeding into this idea that they need their cell phones and the parents are going with it.
Okay.
And as a result, the children are not developing tolerance for frustrating situations. They are not developing certain coping skills for dealing with uncomfortable feelings. And there is also some social communication skills that they're losing because everybody's got their phone in their face.
Okay.
And this is not just a kid phenomenon.
This is like everybody. Right?
This is everybody.
You go into a restaurant tonight. We'll go into a restaurant tonight post the event and watch how many people are on their phones.
Yeah, I mean,
not socializing.
We sit around in meetings.
Yeah.
And we're dinking around on our phones. How much information are we really getting from that meeting?
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Same thing is going on in the school. So,
okay.
One of the other approaches, one of the arguments is that you need to create a culture of healthy tech use.
Okay, I like that.
And there are schools all over the place that are working on that. This comes from Richard Culata, the CEO of the International Society for the Technology in Education. He says that a better approach is teaching children the do's of technology as well as the don'ts, and not tackling the issue by avoiding it, which is the argument for
if you're dropping your phones off in a pouch as you enter the school and you're getting it on your way out, you're essentially trying to avoid the technology usage, right?
Yeah, I think that's sort of I think that's sort of a vague argument as well.
Okay,
because we're still saying we're basically saying we're going to teach them how to use their technology properly, and then it's up to them to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So this is going to be an ongoing issue, I'm sure. So we'll kind of
should see how this plays out.
Yeah.
We should add this to our prediction show, and see if schools are going to adopt this in the next year.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any sweeping adoption.
Okay.
I think that this one specifically comes out of Virginia, and
maybe it'll just be state by state.
So they may be regional. There's always going to be regional differences about how, especially probably here in the Pacific Northwest, they probably don't have any regulations on phone use.
Right, you just are allowed to use them because we're a technology company. All right. Okay. All right, well, let's go to story number 3. Meta and IBM launch an AI alliance. Sorry, an AI should be an allowance. An AI alliance promising to be quote unquote open. Let's go more from our correspondent Karan Keegan on the story.
Meta and IBM are odd partners, but the technology leaders are now teaming up with academics and researchers to create responsible, open-sourced artificial intelligence. Could this be considered OpenAI 2.0? IBM CEO Arvind Krishna said, "This is a pivotal moment in defining the future of AI." IBM is proud to partner with like-minded organizations through the AI Alliance to ensure this open ecosystem drives an innovative AI agenda underpinned by safety, accountability, and scientific rigor. Are we ready for OpenAI 2.0 when OpenAI 1.0 is not completed or fully vetted? That is something that should make the listeners go, All
right, so we got Meta and IBM trying to assemble this Avengers of the AI world to come on up with so OpenAI 1.0 is what's out right now, right? And we're still trying to figure out ChatGPT. We're still having to come up with some basic regulations on how we do AI, what the copyrights go for AI and don't go, graphic imaging if it works. I saw a Facebook page that has essentially ChatGPT or any chats pictures. And there's now like a whole forum on Facebook where you can just post them, and you have people with 3 arms. They got people with 2 ears in the front of their face. I mean, AI pictures are just kind of a funny thing to look at. If you want to spend a bunch of time, I tell you, you can just go and generate that. We haven't figured out AI version 1, but now we got IBM and Meta that want to be in charge of this group of 50 companies, startups, universities, research institutes, and essentially create a governing body. It does include OpenAI, Google, and a bunch of other technology companies also. Microsoft's in there too. This group that comes on up with the laws and the reasoning on what needs to be taken care of. Now, I'm all about people working on new technology, but I don't think these companies should be the people that are coming up with these guidelines. I think that's kind of where the government, and whether it's local government or national government, comes on in to verify and make sure that those laws make the most sense possible. Well, instead of these companies that are going to profit from everything they can with this.
That's my first thought.
Okay,
you say this is where's the money? Where's the money in this? Because you know that Meta and IBM are not doing this as some sort of philanthropic endeavor,
correct,
to make the world a better place.
Correct.
There is some form of profit.
And so you're excluding people.
I think we talked about this in another story months ago about what the people who are creating these rules around AI, the power that they can, use in that system.
So I you know what? I'm all for people coming up with a big group of companies working together on technology, but don't be calling it Open AI 2.0. Don't become this conglomerate of this is our advisory group. I think there's other people better for that.
Well, I could be just jaded.
Well, I don't know.
It's possible that I'm just jaded and I'm thinking that there is no real ethical binding.
Okay, so Meta. So hang on, we're going on to story number 4. So Meta and IBM are going to have this promise to be open. Let's go to story number 4. Disinformation researcher Joan Donovan contends she lost her job at Harvard University due to pressure from the social media company Meta. Now this is the one that wants to work together. Okay.
Meta, huh?
All right, a well-known online disinformation researcher has accused Harvard University of pushing her out and shutting down her work to shield the school's reputation with Facebook owner Meta. In legal filings sent to the United States Department of Education and the Massachusetts Attorney General's office, Donovan accused the university of violating her free speech rights and the school's own commitment to an academic freedom. Now, why would she get fired? We're going to find out about that. In order to protect the interests of high-value donors with obvious and direct ties called Meta and Facebook. Donovan alleged the pressure came as the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, the charitable organization established by Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan, have pledged $500 million to fund a new university-wide center on artificial intelligence at Harvard. There are a handful of tried-and-true means to coerce someone. Essentially, Donovan claims that she has significant data that will show that the $500 million is certainly a financial influencer on the decision to shut down her area. Now, Donovan had worked for Harvard since 2018, serving as a research director and leading its technology and social change research project, which studied media manipulation campaigns. She was a prominent expert on social media and online disinformation, testifying before Congress, raising millions of dollars in grant funding, and being frequently cited by the news and media. Harvard continues to research misinformation on social media, but now, without the vocal leader Donovan, who knows what will happen? Meta has declined to make a comment on this story. Now, these are alleged. I don't want to say this necessarily happened because she's filing a lawsuit, and it could be, it could be substantiated, it could be not substantiated, but I want to say the facts are she believes, that's why she's filing her lawsuit, that she was removed from Harvard because Meta wants to do an AI branch of technology and is going to pay over $500 million.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think she's got a case, or do you
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about her or the. It's the thing about these is there's an obvious slant to this, and we talk about this kind of stuff regularly. As far as like we just bagged all over Meta and IBM for getting together and where the profits are coming from, and then we have this. It's possible.
Okay,
it's possible that she was pushed out, because of pressure from the Zuckerbergs.
Yeah.
Or, it's possible that maybe she just got a little too big for her britches.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Well, I'm just reporting that the lawsuit has been filed. Those are the claims. I don't want to say if she's innocent or not innocent, but I just wanted the news to get out there.
Well,
because I just thought that was so funny that Meta is saying that they want to join on this open deal, and then following in the press release stories, that's right there. So.
Yeah. There's always It
was just funny. It was just like really
Meta
here, Meta there,
Meta here, and shady stuff over here, and sunny,
beautiful sunshine over
there. Yeah.
Right. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on to our next segment, we're going to have Tech Time's help for the holidays. Stay tuned. This is on its way next. You're listening to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We'll back at this commercial break.
This is Marc
and Greg
for Copiers Northwest
with a terrific offer
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner,
one of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers
or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives
and let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
All right, what do we got going on?
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out, brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Corday. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and Marc is in studio to tell us this is good. I like this. Way off the bat, this is I can already tell you this is a thumbs up. But tell us more about this.
You're not supposed to say that, right?
Well, it is. It is. This is my type of whiskey. So what are we drinking today?
We are drinking Remus Repeal Reserve Series 6 Bourbon. So from Remus's website, they say Remus Bourbon is proud to introduce the highly anticipated Remus Repeal Reserve Series, crafted with a melody of 5 rare bourbons reserved from 2008 to 2014. And so this continues our high quality of tradition of this series, and this one has notes of candied fruit, fig jam, oak and barrel char, mint and slight caramel, nutmeg, toffee, and honey. Ooh, you like a mouthful, don't you, Nathan?
This is good. I'm digging this hardcore.
And then they say they finish with sweet candied fruit, leather, and a lingering sweetness and spy rice.
I get no
rye
bite.
Spice. Whew. It's already got to me.
All right.
And this Series 6 came out September 2022 for National Bourbon Heritage Month. And I was hoping to bring in the 7, but I didn't. I just picked up the 7, and we had already slated the 6 to go on for today.
Okay.
And this is from Luxco, which is owned by MGP, which is distilled in Indiana. It's straight bourbon. It's a blend of 5 bourbons ranging, as we said, from 9 to 15 years, 100 proof, and it goes for about $100.
Oh, yeah. This is a shopper's holiday gift to myself type of deal, because that's a little out of my normal price range, right?
That's way out
of your
price range.
I like this a lot.
But it's got a cork.
It does have a cork. And you know what? Yeah. It doesn't have a fancy label because it doesn't need it. It's just got a smooth finishing taste. All right. Well, with our first whiskey tasting completed, we now move on to our holiday time with the kickoff of our 12 days of Twittermas from last year. We're going to play this because we just recorded the brand new 12 days of AI last night. Oh, it is hilarious. It will make the 12 days of Twittermas, which we premiered out with today's show, before we get into our segment, listening to last year's The 12 Days of Twittermas.
TechTime wants to welcome everyone to enjoy the holidays with the 12 days of Twittermas as only TechTime can present it. Please forgive the singing.
On the first day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me of a CEO with a big battery.
On the second day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 2 account options and a CEO with a big battery.
Me, I want to do me next. On the third day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 3 Fireboard executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
I'm so lost. On the 4th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
On the 5th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 5 data breaches.
Oh my God.
44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery. That's because of Tesla.
On the 6th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me.
What?
6 on-site kitchen closings, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchases, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a space Karen as a CEO.
On the 7th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big ego.
On the 8th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 count options, and a CEO with a big battery.
On the 9th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 9 fake account postings, 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchen closings, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO who dated Amber Heard.
On the 10th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 10 must tweets a day, 9 fake account postings, 8 attack on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44. That was the wrong one.
Yeah, you didn't move it fast enough, buddy.
44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
Perfect.
Okay.
On the 11th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 11 board members fired, 10 must tweets a day, 9 fake account postings, 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO who shouldn't be a CEO.
Just do it like me and act like you're pissed off reading.
On the 12th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me
Twitter works 12-hour days,
11 board members fired,
10 must tweets a day,
9 fake accounts postings, 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey,
7 lawsuits pending, 6.
This is a lot of crap.
5 data
breaches.
breaches,
44 billion purchase,
3 fired executives,
2 account options, and a
a CEO who fires people Thanksgiving week.
oh my gosh.
We want to thank everyone that listened to our 12 days of Twittermas. We wish each of you a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas.
I'm just so glad this is actually recorded.
All right, wow.
You know what?
What a tune.
I think we brought so much heat on them that they had to change their name.
they changed it to X, eh?
Yeah.
So the next week's our debut of AI. Oh boy, you may not think we can get better than what we just listened to, but boy, we sure did. All right, now let's start our main segment, Tech Time's Help for the Holidays.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only a hippopotamus will do. And hippopotamuses like me do.
All right, now we're getting into
What do you got for us?
All right, here's what we're going to go through a bunch of items that you can get for under $100. We got to start out the holiday season with a touch of magic with the introduction of Santa GPT. Imagine a Christmas where every gift is perfectly matched. The confusion becomes a thing of the past because OpenAI's latest creation is set to make the vision a reality, promising a festival season filled with joy and seamless gift giving. However, there's a twist. Only a select group of individuals will be exclusively allowed to use Santa GPT.
Well, okay, so what good is it?
Well, it's going to be. It's a Christmas miracle. OpenAI, known for its groundbreaking miracle in artificial intelligence, has once again worked its magic. Santa GPT is a essentially cutting-edge leading model with festival cheer that's going to go out to those that are paying for their premium program services and will be selectively used for those people. Now, it's a Christmas miracle powered by the latest advancements in AI technology.
A Christmas miracle.
Now, who gets the golden ticket? The anticipation builds. The Willy Wonka golden ticket as we wonder who will be the lucky ones to experience the magic of Santa GPT. OpenAI has carefully created a list of individuals who will get exclusive privileges on using this digital companion.
So
the criteria for selection remains shrouded in mystery, adding an element of excitement for the holiday season. Now, the chosen ones, the suspended, essentially will be able to use OpenAI's miraculous new Santa GPT firsthand, unveiling the choices that they have to celebrate the excitement. Now, essentially, it's a wish list wizard. Santa GPT operates as a wish list wizard, using advanced algorithms to analyze and decipher the most complex desires of the people you're shopping for. Its ability to understand and interpret wish lists with precision ensures that every gift is perfectly matched with the holiday season's truly magical. Essentially, conversations will engage on the Santa GPT to understand each of the people you're shopping for, kind of like the real Santa Claus. So you're going to put in people's names and you type a bunch of information about them. So OpenAI has all this information about your family.
So you spy on people and give them the AI, and then the Santa GPT says, go buy them this.
That's exactly correct. Okay. Now, Santa GPT is not just for Christmas. After the Christmas season, essentially OpenAI is going to come out with this idea of having gift-giving processes for your loved ones. So this is essentially the beta demo of using Santa GPT, and then there's going to be Valentine's GPT, and there's going to be 4th of July GPT. So essentially you can buy everything for everybody that you have come over. Although the 4th of July one's easy. It's beer, fireworks, and meat, right? I mean, that's the only thing you need for a good date there. All right. Now, technology gifts for the ones that you love. I went through a list of 8 different gifts to give away.
Are these perfect gifts for people on ChatGPT?
These are perfect gifts for the nerds that are out there. Under $100. Under $100.
Okay.
Across the internet. Now, we're going to just talk about the items. You can find them either on Amazon, Best Buy, but if you just put in the names of them, you'll be able to find them for the prices I'm talking about.
So you're Santa GPT.
I'm Santa GPT right now. I actually had to do the research. I wish Santa GPT did this. It would have saved me a lot of time. All right, so if you're looking for a Nixie tube clock, a vintage-inspired clock that uses the glowing tubes to display the time, perfectly retro enthusiasts and the lovers of steampunk. It's available all over the internet right now and time for delivery for $58. Or how about an RGB mechanical keyboards? The mechanical keyboards with customized RGB lighting for each key, ideally for gamers, programmers, and anyone who appreciates tactical typing, like the old-fashioned ones when you hit it and it makes that loud click, 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 click noise, like the old typewriters. This is the best.
Tactical, it's tactile.
Tactile. Did I say tactical?
You did.
I said tactile typing, $49.99. All right, next thing, wireless charging pad with the UV sanitizer. Charge your phone wirelessly while simultaneously sanitizing it with UV light. A practical and hygienic gadget for germ-conscious kids.
Seriously?
$19.99. Yeah, I have one of these. I don't know how much the UV light really works, but hey, okay. Now, smart plant sensors. These are actually really cool. Attach these sensors to your plants to monitor soil moisture. I need to get these for my boys. Light levels and temperature. Get real-time data and notification on your smartphones regarding your. So let's say I have a cactus. They have my boys never water their plants.
I'm talking about your boys. The
they
first
never water
thing
their
that come
plants.
to my mind when you say your boys, not plants.
Well, let's see. You know what? They all have plants.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they have aloe vera plants and other plants of choice. And what ends up happening is they all become a certain color of brown and black as they don't get water. So this would remind them with the sensor every 6 days. They don't water it.
There you
Mini
go.
projectors, a portable projector that fits in your pocket. Great for impromptu movie nights or presentations. And if you want to play video games on the go, these mini projectors, which used to be $1,000 a pop, now sell for $49. Or how about LED stripe lights? Oh my gosh. Now these having a whole strip of lights behind the back of your television. This is what my youngest boy does all the time. It changes colors. So he loves this. You can get these for $19.
Take a coil of Christmas lights and throw it back behind there?
Well, no. He has the LEDs, and they come, and you can cut them. You can do different colors, everything. You can get those for $19.99. Not that expensive, and people enjoy those. Or you know what? You can also look for a USB-C hub with multiple ports. There's never enough ports to plug in your extra USB HDMI and SD cards. Look for the perfect items that are available to help your MacBook users and other devices from 1 port or 2 ports to 5 to 6. All available anywhere between $19.99 and $39. Or a retro gaming console. Forget buying yourself one of those retro
Raspberry Pitch.
Here you go. Raspberry. You know I love these things. My Raspberry Pi emulator. For all those old school titles, you can get them right now on sale for $49.99 while supplies last. Get those old video game ROMs illegally downloaded on the internet, and you can play it for a good old time. I mean, did I say illegally? Download it on the internet, and you can have a great time.
There you go.
3D printing pen, $19.99. Draw in 3 dimensions with a handheld 3D printed pen. Bring your artistic creations to life. So it's a pen that's created on a 3D printing device.
Glue gun with
or last but not least, a Bluetooth beanie hat, $9.99. Stay warm and listen to music and take your calls with the Bluetooth speaker, a cozy accessory for the tech-savvy winter days.
There you go. There's a workaround for those kids in those schools.
That's right. They can just have them.
Turn on Pandora and throw it in the bag and listen to their music through the hat.
There you go. That ends our Tech Time help for the holidays. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side as we will be during the break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on Patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
Tech Time Radio.
At Tech Time Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's Tech Time Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at Tech Time Radio.
That's at Tech Time Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's Tech Time Radio.
It's at Tech Time Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. We're going to go back to December 9th, 1968. Douglas Engelbart was an American engineer, inventor, and early computer and internet pioneer. He is best known for his work on founding the field of human-computer interactions, particularly while at his Augmentation Research Center lab at SRR National, which resulted in the creation of the computer mouse. His team and researchers presented a 90-minute public technology demonstration, including such inventions as hypertext, which is essentially text when you click on it, it goes to a location. Video conferencing. This is back in, again, 1968. Video conferencing was a aspect that they were looking at. And the first public demonstration of a computer mouse. Essentially, 1,000 individuals were at hand to see the public demonstration and attendance to see all of this technology from his SIR International nonprofit organization that still operates today. All right, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 180 weekly broadcasts spanning 3+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows or join the Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Marc's Whiskey Mumble and our Technology Fail of the Week, and hopefully our Nathan Nugget about AI geese. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Marc's Whiskey Mumble.
You know what's funny about this?
What's that?
We're all waiting for Marc to talk about liquor.
Yeah.
And we talk about technology.
That's right. That's right. There you go.
Why is that funny?
I think it's funny because
Yeah, are
it's
you
a
just
tech
now
show.
realizing this?
I'm just pointing it out. I'm just being Captain Obvious right now.
All right. Well, fantastic. You know, if you're also looking for a Christmas gift, you can get the Threads of Chaos
Are you serious?
by J. Michael Gourdet. It's available on Amazon in print. Back copy right here. You can get it all taken care of. I got my buddy over there on the side. It's the Book of the South. There you go.
Yeah?
Okay. You see how I
Marc?
play? Marc's like, what the
Marc,
heck?
yeah, Marc's
Tell us
looking a
about the
little
whiskey, Marc.
deflated right
Well, before
now.
we get to the whiskey, today is a very special day
Okay.
in the world of whiskey.
Oh, it is.
National Bourbon Day.
Oh, not quite.
National.
If it wasn't for today, we wouldn't be drinking today.
Oh, really?
Oh, this was
Like
National.
Prohibition?
This is National 23rd Amendment.
Yes, National Repeal Day.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's why we're drinking Remus Repeal Reserve.
Oh, I get it now. I get it
Okay,
now.
That was clever.
Okay.
Yeah, so back in 1933, the United States ended the 13-year experiment with increasing unpopular nationwide prohibition of alcohol.
Which essentially mean the underground market was just flooding with this alcohol,
this
right?
is the origin of organized crime in America.
Yeah,
was
to
the
do all the
Prohibition
illegal
Act.
stuff that was underneath. Okay, keep on
Yeah,
going.
so yay, it's National Repeal Day today.
Perfect.
So now, during Prohibition, the consumption of alcohol was illegal, except, it was kind of glamorized by the speakeasies, which gave it the dangerous flapper-style glamour. So, Nathan?
Yes?
If you own any flapper-style costumes, this is the day to pull it out and
Oh,
put them on.
I do. I have like 2 of them at home.
There you go.
I really don't want to see that. Thanks, Marc.
I'll take a picture and send it to you later.
No,
tonight.
don't, please.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the whiskey.
Yes.
Remus Repeal Reserve Series 6 is named after the famed Chicago attorney George Remus. George Remus found some loopholes in the National Prohibition Act, known informally as the Volstead Act, and moves to Cincinnati, Ohio, to set up his empire. He'll be known as the king of the bootleggers due to his high standards in distributing the finest bourbon of the era. Remus is sometimes credited as a direct inspiration for The Great Gatsby.
Oh, okay.
Now, Nathan, don't get too enamored with him, because I know how you get man crushes.
I do, yeah.
He was not a good guy.
Okay.
And I'm actually a bit disappointed that something like this would be named after him.
Oh, no.
So, with that said, I do find this bourbon to be delicious.
It is.
It's very balanced, delivers both those fruit flavors and oak in harmony with virtually no bite. Now, it is a blend of 5, and they're pretty much high rye bourbons. So I'm thinking Mike might find it a bit too bitey and burny for him. Not sure. But for me, it's a fantastic bourbon hitting all the right spots.
It's fantastic. It's probably some of the best bourbon that I've had. Are you having a problem with it, Mike, or are you liking it? No,
You don't get that right.
No.
Burn?
No.
Because I get more on this one than that.
Last week, I just
than our malted rye, which is much more smooth and
this
toned
is
down.
good. This is fantastic. This is some high end stuff here. Thank you for the Christmas gift, Mark. I appreciate that. All right. Well, now, you know what? Whiskey and technology is such a great pairing. Oh, no. Just like the pairing of Santa Claus and reindeer. You can't have one without the other, right?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Now let's get ready for our technology fail of the week.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. So do you use Google Maps there, Mike? Do you use Google Maps when you drive around?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay. Well, let me just tell you. Google Maps faster route sends F1 fans to the desert, and all cars get stuck. If you need evidence of blindly trusting Google Maps, it's never a good idea. Here's a story of several Formula One fans who ended up in the middle of the desert after following the fastest route suggested by the app. Shelby Easler revealed on TikTok how she was heading back to Los Angeles after the Formula One race in Las Vegas, only to be rerouted by Google Maps to avoid a dust storm on Interstate 15. According to Google Maps, the new route would save them 50 minutes, so the driver decided to follow the app's suggestion and leave the interstate. They were not alone, as a video on TikTok shows a long line of vehicles going to the same route, likely using the same Google Maps. The only problem was the route was a road surface. The unpaved road was going through the middle of the unexplored desert, so it wasn't necessarily a surprise when the convoy eventually came across wild donkeys. Some cars following the route didn't feel comfortable on the off-road terrain, so the drivers got stuck. Google Maps even lost the GPS positioning, showing their location in the middle of nowhere, away from the suggested route. It was the time then for people to start calling 911 because a bunch of people were stuck in the desert. Couldn't be any good news. She says the 911 dispatcher told the group that the police were busy dealing with the craziness on the highway, so their next option was to call for roadside assistance. They still had waited several hours in the forest until the towing company reached the stranded vehicles. They got towed and brought back to Las Vegas when they received the necessary repairs before going home. Following the suggested faster route doesn't always pay off, as they ended up spending more time in traffic, putting their lives at risk, and eventually going back to where they started the journey in the first place.
You know, this something similar to me happened to me in June.
All right, what was that?
I went to Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
And ended up I took the wrong exit.
Yeah.
And so it routed me through all this farmlands, and like I was going through all through these dirt roads and stuff.
And Google didn't work right. No. All right. Okay, well, I got another question to follow that up with, Mike. Let's move to your mesmerizing moment.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
All right, so I'm going to ask you. So here you were out in the middle of no man's land.
Yep.
Did you stop and ask someone for directions?
No, there was nobody out there.
Okay, let's say you are driving and you get lost. Do you stop and go into a gas station and ask somebody for directions?
Nope.
Why is that? Explain the psychology to me.
Do you want to know my personal reason?
Sure.
Because, I really don't get good directions from people. Because I actually did that in Georgia once. I stopped and asked for directions, and I got the most inane thing to get me to where I wanted to go. And it consisted of, you go down there and you turn. You go in there and then you stop and then you turn.
You go to the diner and you take the left.
End of the road, and there it is. That was the directions I got from some guy.
So that now you say that you just don't ask for directions because you think everybody's going to say that?
Google provides me with my needs. But this is a topic that's always been in the sphere of direction. Actually,
yeah.
Who often will not ask for directions?
Mostly the men.
It's mostly men.
Yeah.
And part of that, there's two parts of that. Part of that is an ego-driven thing.
Yeah.
We don't want to appear weak.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we want to appear like we're in control and we know what's going on.
All right.
The second piece of that is actually more genetic. Men typically have a better spatial awareness of where they are.
Oh, that's
in
exactly
space.
what I need to remember. Okay.
So they tend to know how to get to places
Without having to ask.
Without having to ask.
Perfect.
Okay. it works that way when they are forced to ask for directions. They're having an ego struggle.
All right. Well, that was our Mike's mesmerizing moment. Looks like we're out of time, so we didn't get to our Nathan Nugget. We'll have to get to that next week. But I think we have time for, of course, our pick of the day.
We're not going to talk about the geese.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, what do we have here, Mark?
All right, we have Remus Repeal Reserve Series 6 Bourbon from Luxco MGP. Straight bourbon, blend of 5 of them, 9 to 15 years old, 100 proof, and roughly $100.
All right, I already said this from the first taste.
It's a thumbs up for me.
Thumbs up.
I'm not gonna. There's no hesitation.
This is phenomenal. It's
got
really
a great taste, good finish. I don't have the burn that I normally do with.
Is this
rice.
on the top of your shelf? That's the most important thing.
Well, yeah, because it's Art Deco label, and so I have all the pretty ones up on the top shelf.
Okay. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to our show today. We will see you next week.
The 21st Amendment, not the 23rd.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from